What is up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. So today I kind of was inspired to make a video because I was watching Babbling Loner re-uploads because I did miss a few of his videos. I do enjoy Ashley, the goth girl. Um, so technically, I'm not going to make this video too long. It's kind of hilarious because obviously Doomer Tejana's lifestyle is a little bit different from mine. So basically, I'm not going to like do an analysis on this story because my story and his do not correlate. They're the total opposite. But when I was back in high school, and before starting, like I do understand Babbling Loner. When you have a crush on a girl, your natural instinct is to win her over, or try to get her attention, or see if you have an opportunity. Because at the time, nobody knows about the black pill, nobody knows about blue pill, red pill. You're just living your teenage life. um, I was kind of naive. I don't know what made me think that I had a specific chance to get in, have any opportunities with this female. So she was like an attractive Latina girl at the time, curvy. She reminded me of one of these like models that would perform in Pitbull's videos. If you guys remember, Pitbull was very popular, like in the 2008, 2009, 2010ish. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, Pitbull's like the Cuban rapper or whatever. So basically, when I saw that girl, uh, yeah, like I was astonished. I was like, holy cow, who is this? Like, who is this girl? And I think what made me to believe that what I could get with her was, she was not the typical Hispanic girl, kind of like loud and obnoxious. Because, at the time there was these like wannabe thug Latina girls, and this girl was more preppier, more classy. So I'm like, I have nothing to lose. This is the time when I still didn't know my boundaries. I didn't know that your genetics determines your success with females. So I just went on. I was conversating with her. I mean, not conversating. I was looking at her. We locked eyes. At the time, I couldn't really talk to her because when we locked eyes, it was awkward. I think in the ninth grade, that's when I looked my absolute best. I had no acne, so my olive skin and the colored eyes, because I have hazel eyes, kind of like made me noticeable. But it was still not enough. Like, now that I noticed, this girl would have been asking me who I am, but obviously she didn't. She had no interest. I was not her type. I ended up finding this out, after a couple months. And out of coincidence, I had her in one of my classes, but I tried to do everything that I could to get her attention or to make her notice me, but I ended up doing anything because I had her in my gym class, and I remember I would try to like perform well in sports, and I ended up kind of ruining that. I actually did because what ended up happening was so one thing about me, I was more nerdy. I was always more of a guy that, now that I think of it, nobody ever cared about intellectual conversations, and the only reason I could talk about random facts or random things is basically I had no life like other teenagers. Like, I was so repressed because of the religion. So obviously that was an indication that I was not the normal Hispanic guy. So I wasn't like the other typical Hispanic dude. So obviously I was unpopular, not by genetics, but by a lot of things. So basically I moved on, and so I ended up finding out that, I have no chance. I'm not going to win her over because, one, it doesn't matter if I can match or I can look smacks. It doesn't matter. I'm not her type. I don't have that charismatic charm. I have a lot to learn from. And to put the cherry on the top was basically when we were competing in soccer, because she was in the other team. I accidentally, because I think I was running, I was going to score, and I had like seconds before someone could take the ball. And I didn't notice she was behind me, so I used my body, and when I shoved someone, it was her, and she went straight to the wall, which it was kind of funny at the same time. And I remember she yelled at me hardcore. She kind of like cussed me out because I used my force. And after that, she kind of never looked eyes on me. She kind of hated me for that. I don't know why. it was kind of hilarious because we collided. She ran into me, but obviously she didn't know that there's biology and anatomy differences. But it is what it is. So the after the end of ninth grade, we all went on summer vacation. After I went back, I saw her again, but she was a senior. Uh, the funny thing about it is we locked eyes, but she didn't spoke a word to me, and she never waved at me. Even though before she hated me, we never even spoke. We just locked eyes. I don't. That was kind of like the weirdest thing ever. Like we never waved hands or anything. But it's due because other Hispanic dudes didn't like me. I didn't know this at the time. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comment section. I don't know. I didn't see it. Never mind. I don't even know. I never talked to them, but they tried to mug me hard. So I think she was embarrassed to say hi to me. If it is what it is, guys. Because, like I said, at the time, a lot of the Hispanics didn't like intellectual conversation. They didn't like nerdy Hispanic guys. If you were nerdy, you were kind of already an outcast in the Hispanic, which is kind of sad. And it's embarrassing to say this, but it is what it is. You got to say this out loud. Now, I'm not saying this is all Hispanic kids, but this is my town. This is the environment. It all kind of changed now, but so after that, I just moved on. Um, I heard she was pregnant, and now when she came across my Facebook friends recommendations, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. This chick, her life does determine what type of girl she's gonna be. She's like a spotlight. She was always that spotlight. She got everybody's attention. So she's like a podcaster. She has a profession. Her life turned out to be exactly the way she was destined to. In my life, I'm not going to compare to hers, but my life, obviously I had some fallbacks on the religion and the indoctrination and manipulation tactics that kind of ruined a little bit of my life. But now that I restarted my life a couple years back. This tells me that I did the right thing going to MGTOW because it's only going to get worse when you start to realize that your personality, your natural personality, is going to really determine your lifestyle. I'm not a spotlight. I'm a guy that is not charismatic. I don't have that spotlight naturally on me. So basically, I'm more like I'm meant for like things from my career where I'm kind of like, okay, an example like I said, she's a podcaster. That's her. That's her personality. She always had that natural ability, and she was a good writer too. So that's why I was attracted to her because she was like beautiful and quite intelligent. But unfortunately, I was not her type. Compared to me, I can only be like certain things because my personality is more reserved. I'm more analytical. I'm more of this individual that analyzes or worries too much about the future. I don't relax, so that's something that has always been against me. That makes me kind of unattractive. I'm like meant more for careers that I I'm like not seen in public, if that makes sense. Should I feel petty for myself? Absolutely not. You are who you are, man. You gotta really enjoy who you are, man. And the reason I brought this story is basically I was watching Babbling Loner, man, and Babbling Loner mentioned something that really got my attention. That kind of resonated with me. Was basically he did mention that the goth girl had the ability to become someone in life, which I don't know if she did or not. And from his statement, I guess he doesn't know. He hasn't seen her. And like I said, this attractive girl, this spark girl, was naturally, beautiful, intelligent, and look at her now, podcaster, professional. She has like a not just a profession like a normal one. It's like from what I found out, it looks like she works something with law, and I'm like, holy cow. Here's the thing though, she was kind of like that social justice warrior because she would defend others. So I'm like, holy cow. It's just, life is very interesting. And here I am, I'm very outcast. Like I'm this random Latino works out and still hasn't been able to like make his social group any bigger. It has diminished. It has basically my friend groups is dismantled. Still single, but that's kind of my own choice. But just wanted to share this out, man. I thought it was quite interesting how our manosphere has similar stories. It's like he's from California, from the Midwest, but not too different from one another. Just the only difference is I went MGTOW. Like, I don't even care to get women's attention, but life is interesting, guys. Life is full of surprises. You just gotta prepare for that. And I don't know if you guys have similar stories. Let me know in the comment section. But I hope you guys have a good one. Take care, man. I'm sorry my video. I'm sorry this story is not as popular or not as attractive as Babbling Loner. Like, I don't have that much experience, guys. I didn't have that particular freedom like Babbling Loner. I was indoctrinated. I was in religion's rules, and it is what it is, guys. I'll make another video about it, man, so you guys can kind of understand where I come from. But thank you for listening in. A lot of gratitude and appreciation for you guys, man. You guys take care, man. Peace out.